everybody, my name is Elizabeth and welcome back to my channel. Today I am in Lexington, Kentucky at the Kentucky Horse Park, and I am so excited. I've been planning this one for a while, and I know we're going to see some shows. There's a museum, and it's a gorgeous day. I think there was a little bit of rain on the forecast for a little later, but there is not a cloud in the sky, so I'm doubting that that's going to actually happen, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited to see some horses, learn about, the different kinds, and hopefully pet a horse, and do all kinds of fun stuff. So come with me and we'll see what it's like together. There are two different museums here at the Kentucky Horse Park. There is the Saddlebred Museum and there is the International Museum of the Horse. And so that's where we're starting, is the International Museum of the Horse. Because the shows haven't started, they won't be going on for an hour. So let's look and learn something about the horse. Oh, here they're talking about different kinds of mythical horses like Pegasus and the Centaur, and horses that draw the chariot of the sun. There's talks a little bit about the myth where Poseidon creates horses from the ocean waves. Okay, so this is a recreated Sumerian battle wagon that would have been pulled by horses. And let's see, let me get up to the description. Obviously some kind of chariot. Egyptian 2-horse chariot. This is a replica. Oh, I think that armor though, it looks like that is authentic. It's German from around the 1560. And it's that piece of armor there on the left pedestal is it's like armor for the horse's head. Okay, so here we have kind of a depiction of how they would get horses onto a ship for crossing, like for example when they came to the New World. They would lift them on. I had to say it was a perilous crossing, difficult for man and horse alike. So this is kind of how they would have the horse set up once they were on board. The slings were constructed to allow the horses to swing with the roll of the ship and to take the weight off their feet. So this is huge. So this was like a peddler wagon, and it calls it a general store on wheels. And then, of course, a stagecoach. I'm guessing that's a recreation. Doesn't look super old, so. Let's see if I can get confirmation on that. I stand corrected. This coach specifically was a passenger coach used in the 1800s, and it was then acquired by a private collector who actually used it in her home, to ferry around guests and things like that. This is really interesting. It's talking about the African American role and influence on horse culture, the sport of racing, as well as the economics and business of horse breeding and racing, and how they were really intertwined. So it says, thoroughbred racing became the nation's most popular sporting event, concurrent with the institution of slavery. For over 200 years, racing stock was generally cared for, ridden, and trained by enslaved people. Which isn't very surprising, but the fact that the slaves had better relationships and, probably cared more for the horses than the actual people who owned them, is just a very interesting part of the history of this sport. Oh, interesting. Harry Lewis was a skilled trainer who worked as a free man during the era of slavery. His paper trail begins in Scott County, Kentucky, where he was enslaved on Captain George Burbridge's thoroughbred farm. But then by 1850, Harry Lewis was free and working as a trainer in Georgetown, Kentucky. So they have, I think this is a temporary exhibit. It's called Heart of the Horse. And they have this little poem. It says Uma, which I'm assuming means horse. Most noble beast of colors, as changing as the seasons, of as many tasks and talents as humans may ask, as limitless as their heart, essence, spirit, soul, resolve. And if you can see, it has this Japanese word kokoro, and I'm assuming that's those are a translation of that word, which is why it's called Heart of the Horse. Let's go see what it is. Oh, look at that tiny saddle. That does not look comfortable. So they even have, just like we do, a bunch of horse-themed toys. And next we have the Arabian Horse Galleries. So far, this is my favorite looking of the exhibits. It's just very cool. And we have a whole lot of awards for horse racing. Juvenile Stakes, the Travers Stakes, American Derby, Dixie Handicap. Well, that was a cool museum. I went through it very quickly, so I stopped and read only a fraction of what they had, simply because there's so much other stuff to do here, and I don't want to spend the whole day inside looking at pictures of horses when I can go out and be looking in the barns and seeing the different shows and stuff they have to offer. So that'll probably be what it's like with the other museum too, is that I will look quickly, but I don't want to take time away from the rest of the park. There is a horse-drawn trolley tour starting here in a couple minutes, so I'll be doing that. There's also a mounted policeman barn here. I don't think I'm going to have enough time to do it now before the tour, but yeah, so after the tour, I'm hoping to step over to the mounted policeman horse barn and hopefully get some cool information and also see some horses. So let's go on this tour.
Your driver today is Bridget, and up in front of us doing all the heavy pulling is a pair of our Percherons. On your left-hand side is Royal, on your right-hand side is Shock. Both these guys have been here for quite a few years. They're very used to their jobs. You guys are all in very good hands today. Over on your left-hand side, we just passed by this kids barn that's full of all kinds of hands-on interactive exhibits. It's definitely worth checking out for people of all ages, so don't let that name deter you. This statue over on our left-hand side that we just passed by is one of our more popular statues here at the park. That is of Sergeant Reckless. She's a Mongolian pony that was purchased by the U.S. Marines. She served for us in the Korean War. Over on our left-hand side, you'll see barns 1 through 4. If you look at costume, you'll see even more. These are for our visiting competitors. So here at the Horse Park, we're kind of like a 2-in-1 park where we have our equine theme park side, where we also host over 200 unique competitions here. So on our busier weeks, we can see 5 competitions running at once. So we need to be ready to house over 1,000 horses on those busier weekends. And then they're going to have the third show of the day that is at 3:30 this afternoon. Again, you can backtrack our trolley route either direction to find it. Their shows take place right here at the Hall of Champions. They're going to tell you a little bit more about those horses, what their accomplishments are, what life is like in retirement here at the Horse Park. On either side of us here, you'll notice some double fencing. You see some of the breed barn horses are out there running around. The double fencing serves a couple of different purposes. One is if there are studs or stallions or any sort of horse that has a little bit more spirit, they can fight over a fence line, but if you give them this little 8 to 10 foot
Okay, now we are in the mounted horse, the mounted police barn. This is Parker, but there's a warning not to pet him.
Big chair, please.
Hi, beautiful.
Look money first.
We have Henry. He's chilling out, trying to stay cool. Oliver.
They all look the same.
Ours are a little bit different.
I'll let you give it a bath.
Oh, that must feel good. And here we have Mackenzie. And since there's no sign, I'm assuming it's okay that I can pet her. Oh. No. Hi, beautiful. Oh, too many people petting you, huh? Is that alright? No? You're beautiful. Two little ponies, miniature horses, whatever they are. There's one, there's two. They're pretty cute. Hopefully I'll get to see some more later in the kids' barn. Hi. Beautiful. So this is Mr. Muscleman, a Hall of Fame trotter. And he is stunning. Just proving it. Yep. This is Western Dreaming. Western Dreamer, the Pacing Triple Crown winner. What are you eating? I think you're just licking the metal. Hello. Let's see. Oh, Won the West. Millionaire Pacer.
He's also the richest horse here at the horse park. He retired after earning $6.9 million in his career, which even accounting for inflation is considered quite a bit of money even today. And usually in any other year, Accelerate would have been voted hands down the Big Eclipse Award. And Eclipse Awards are similar to Oscars for horses. Industry insiders each get a vote. There's a lot of public kind of comment, but it really doesn't count for anything. A lot of good-natured debate back and forth on Facebook and things like that. But unfortunately for him, there was another horse who did something very special in 2018. His name is Justified. He just happened to win the Thoroughbred Triple Crown that year. Now usually there'd be zero debate about that. Obviously a horse to accomplish something so rare and difficult as winning a year. The fact that there was quite a bit of debate says a lot about how people appreciated and respected what Accelerate was able to accomplish that year, winning 5 Grade 1 stakes, facing some of the best horses in the world in the Breeders' Cup Classic and promptly showing them his tail. All these things together couldn't overcome, which probably was the right thing to do. Justify was named Horse of the Year. Now that said, Accelerate did receive, I think, probably 50 first place votes, and he did come away with an award. It doesn't sound quite as full as Horse of the Year, but you're looking at the official 2018 champion Older Dirt Male. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue like Horse of the Year, but any other year he would have been named Horse of the Year, that's for sure. Now the final race of his career happened a few months after the Breeders' Cup victory that you guys just saw. It was in a race called the Pegasus World Cup. It's a race that hasn't been around as long as the Breeders' Cup, but there's a lot of money involved. They get a lot of really good horses by putting out a lot of purse money or prize money. He did not win that race, he came in third. However, he walked away with a check for $900,000 for that third place finish.
So Won the West inherits the lead. Won the West is almost there. Back-to-back seasons for Won the West.
That's right, let's hear it for Won the West! That is a very handsome Won the West standard bred pacer. He's 21 years old. And by the way, you can't tell by looking at a standardbred if they're a trotter or a pacer. You can't tell by watching them walk. All horses walk the exact same way. You really can't even tell seeing them on their own out in their field. There's, left to their own devices. Horses will do whatever they want to do with their legs, basically. You can tell the difference, though, between a thoroughbred and a standardbred. So with some individuals, it's more obvious, but just in general, standardbreds tend to have a little bit larger heads in relation to thoroughbreds. They've got longer backs, they've got denser bones, harder hooves. They're a lot more durable as well. It's no big deal for some of these horses to race weekly, for weeks, for months, for seasons at a time, retire happy, fit, and sound, and go on to do other jobs as well. This guy actually here raced a total of 109 times in his career. He came in first 36 times, he came in second 24 times, and third 15 times. What does all that add up to? Well, you look at one of the richest pacers in history. He retired with earnings just a little under $4 million in his career. In fact, he's the second richest horse here at the horse park. And before the arrival of Accelerate, he was the richest horse here at the horse park, that's for sure.
All right, so one thing I've been noticing, they have some horses buried here around the park. And they have plaques about what each one did. Like, for example, this one won 2 of the 3 races of the 2001 Triple Crown. Point given. So that's pretty interesting. His earnings were just under $4 million. So I've seen several of these like grave markers around. So yeah, they do bury their horses right here. So he wants. Sure. That's what he wanted. That's what I wanted. Oh, that's it. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's melting.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
This is. I'm running late for the show. Well, it starts in like 3 minutes, so hopefully.
Navstrupper from Denmark,
Look, wow. Come on, guys.
followed by the Chincoteague Pony. Up first, a rare warm blood from Denmark. This breed shares the same genes that gives the Appaloosa its spots. This is the Navstrupper. Her name is Folly. I know you're thinking, well, where are all the spots? Some Navstruppers, like Folly, show no pattern at all. Haskell. So back in the mid-1800s, farmers and landowners in Tennessee began to combine an assortment of popular horse breeds to develop a utility horse suited for the way they worked. With long days in the saddle a way of life, there was a need for horses that could be comfortable to ride all day, every day. So they combined the best traits of the Narragansett Pacer, Morgan, Thoroughbred, Standardbred Trotter, and the Saddlebred. After several generations, their efforts paid off with the Tennessee Walking Horse.
Yes.
The American Quarter Horse traces its roots to colonial America. That's when English breeds were mixed with those of Spanish ancestry to produce a compact and muscular horse that was quick and agile. These horses were also versatile. They worked the farm all day, then became racehorses as they flew down a quarter-mile straightaway on Main Street, born already knowing how to drive, cut, and manage cattle. In 1940, the American Quarter Horse Association was founded, and the breed received its official name. This is the American Mustang Penny. Although Mustangs do still roam wild out west, they are not in fact a wild horse breed. In reality, Mustangs are classified as feral. That's just because they all descend from once domesticated horses. When explorers set out to conquer new lands, they brought their horses with them. Around 500 years ago, when the Spanish landed on the shores of the New World, they reintroduced the horse to North America. An elegant and athletic equine that has roots in the Netherlands, this is the Dutch warm blood Inky. hot-blooded type. A hot-blooded type like an Arabian or a thoroughbred, nor a cold-blooded type like a draft horse. However, the term warm blood is traditionally used to refer to a number of European horse breeds, the most popular being the Dutch warm blood. Farmers and landowners, well, they decided to make horse racing a part of their lives and livelihoods. Here's the modern example of an effort to create the perfect ratio of speed and stamina in a horse bred to race. This is the thoroughbred form of racehorse, Calia. Now, Kentucky is known as the horse capital of the world, but our most famous breed, the thoroughbred, is actually an import. Its origins date back to late 17th century Great Britain. Now, back in the late 1600s, early 1700s, 3 stallions or jag horses were imported to England and named after their owners. They're famously known as the Byerly Turk, the Darley Arabian, and Godolphin Arabian. Now, one thing I know about Patrick is he jumps higher the louder the crowd is. Yeah! That's pretty high. I don't know if you can go higher, maybe. By the way, Patrick is 31 years young. He and Sarah have been together for 27 of those 31 years, and basically he's a brother. He's also a certified therapy horse. He's visited folks in hospitals and institutions and all that fun stuff. All right, they're going to ramp it up. Well, first of all, he's going to put himself on a pedestal because he's got a very good sense of self-esteem. Aww, how about she? And he's appeared at Briar Fest, he's been in parades, he's been on television, he had a whole special about him on KET, which is the local PBS outlet here. And he's also a Briar model over his namesake jump. No? That's right, he also has a mind of his own like all horses do. He's still thinking about his nap. Up and away! Yeah. Alright, let's get the noise going. The higher jump now, raise the bar a little bit. Let's go, Patrick! Now, one thing you can tell is looking at him, he loves doing this. He loves jumping from the very first time he even walked over a log as a youngster. Oh, we're going up even higher. Oh, I don't know about that. Looks like we're up to about 3 feet or so. That's almost over his head. Come on, Patrick! Yeah! Come on, Patrick! He's like, that's not high. To the moon!
Yeah!
Oh.
Yeah!
Let's do it!
And this is the thoroughbred,
Yes.
right? Hi. He's so pretty. Gorgeous. Thank you.
Thank you.
And this is the Mustang? Is that right?
This is Penny.
Hi, Penny. Hi. You're beautiful. Hi. Oh, thank you. Tennessee walking horse. Oh, it's so pretty. Hi. Oh. They must be pretty used to a lot of people coming up and petting them.
There's a special horse to be here.
Yeah.
They go through the trial period first to make sure
Yeah.
that they're going to work out. There are some that can't handle it and they have to go home.
Sure.
Unfortunately. But
Yeah.
He thinks it's the best thing since sliced bread. There are some times when I'm riding him and he will try everything with how to come to the fence.
Aw.
We're still going.
Oh, he's so pretty. Hi. And what's this kind again?
She's a Chincoteague pony.
Aw.
They're from Virginia and Maryland.
Oh, okay.
Mostly Virginia. But they live on Assateague Island. And then they swim them over to Chincoteague Island, which is where they get the name.
Oh, okay.
And then they auction off so many every year for the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Company. He's black with
Hi.
dark, and he's very friendly.
Hi.
Brown red.
What, remind me what kind this is?
A Dutch warm blood. His name is Inky.
Hi. Hi, Inky. Oh, no.
He's like,
Just one too many people petting you today, huh? He's so pretty.
He is.
Do you always like ride the same horse when you come to do this, or do you? Yeah.
So we all switch between a handful of horses.
Oh, okay.
Some of us share horses. Some of us kind of. The horses have the exact same personalities we do.
Yeah.
Vice versa. So some are introverted, some are extroverted.
Sure.
Callie over there, she likes one or two people, so not a lot of people ride.
Got it.
Inky, he's an actually really well-trained horse, so we keep the better riders on him. So
Got
we'll
it.
get a handful of people.
Yeah.
Blue over here, he's very introverted, so he only gets one ride.
Got it. Okay. Thank you very much.
So they
Hello. Remind me which breed this is.
He's a quarter horse. His name's Blue.
Hi, Blue. Oh, you're so pretty.
He likes working out. He's a lot of
Did I hear that you're the only one who rides this one?
For the most part,
Yeah.
every now and then somebody else will, but
Yeah.
he's
Very cool. Thank you very much. Well, that was so much fun. I got to pet so many horses, but they do have horses here in the stable that were not brought out during the show. So I want to go and see what kind of horses they have. Here we have a Frisian. Struber, whatever that is. Never heard of that one. I think I did see this one actually. I think this is the little pony. Ooh, Appaloosa. Hello, beautiful. A Colorado Ranger. They have a couple thoroughbreds because I passed one and didn't film it because this is the one we saw in the show, but there was another one back there and that's a thoroughbred. Here we have an Andalusian. Oh my goodness, look how beautiful. Hi, gorgeous. Hi. And a Lipizan. Apparently they have a pony, but not in there now. Here's the Mustang we saw. Old Kentucky Saddler. Hi, gorgeous. Ooh. Here's an Arabian. We just learned all about them in the museum. I love that one. About like the pretty color of his coat. Irish Draft. And an Appaloosa. Hi. Look at you. One thing that they've told us several times in the different shows is that these horses are actually not in their stalls as much as they seem while we're here. They said they're pretty much only in their stalls while the park is open, and the rest of the time they're out in the pasture. And at night they have kind of free reign to go either into the pasture or into their stall, whichever they want. So that was nice to hear that they're not always cooped up here. In fact, more often than not, they are out roaming.
Next here, it's going to provide a protective barrier. So when I put the harness on, I'm not going to be tightening the harness onto the fabric. You don't want to restrict the movement at all, make it uncomfortable. It's going to tighten down onto this collar. This collar is going to provide that barrier here. It's also
Teacher Elizabeth here, guys. So, as you could tell from the previous clips, it was pretty hard to hear in this barn. In person, it wasn't as bad as the video, but it still wasn't great. I did enjoy watching this and seeing the harnesses and things get put on and hearing what she had to say, but because the fans were so loud, I was starting to lose interest just because I couldn't hear very well. Now, at one point, after she got him all harnessed up, she said, "Let me pause here and ask for questions." And I couldn't hear the questions, and so I just kind of wandered off at that point. But then later I was talking to my friend after I got back, because she had been here before, and she said, "Oh yeah, I love the draft horse presentation," and she started talking about all this stuff that they did that I did not see. And I was like, maybe I was only halfway through the presentation and I should have stuck around. So I do apologize for that. I think this presentation was probably longer and talked more about the horses and things like that. But I unfortunately got bored and wandered away. Not really bored because I enjoyed it, but I thought I had seen what there was to see. And I didn't realize that there was more. But anyway, sorry about that.
Right on the stage, it's just saving some confusion. But I'll point out some things. They've got these big black squares on either side. These are called arch blinders or blinkers. These are going to sit around Patrick's eyes. And the goal of them is not to continue blind the horse, but just to help them remember to focus on the work in front of them.
Okay, I'm in the big barn, which appropriately houses all their giant draft horses and Clydesdales and things like that. This is Red. He's a Belgian, and he's huge. I know it's hard to judge, but he's taller than I am. I'm showing, it says 18.2 hands and 1,700 pounds is what his little name plaque says. And this is Manny. He's an American cream, and he's so pretty. And this is Bob, a Clydesdale. Hi, Bob. Okay, so the hair went up because it is August in Kentucky and it is hot. But funny, I was sitting here on a bench after I was in the big barn with the Clydesdales and stuff, and this father and son walked by with their dog, because pets are allowed here, and they got under the shade of the tree, and the dog just like literally decided, I'm done, and just lay down right in front of me and like would not move. It was so cute, and they were fine. Like the dad was just like, "Oh, it's time for a break, huh?" And they just stopped for a minute, and then the dog got up. It was just so cute. All right, and we're going to the kids' barn because they assured us in the tour that it is not just for kids. So we're gonna go in and take a look. I don't know if you can hear me because there's a fan right above my head, but this is Jiggy. He's a miniature horse. And he is brand new here.
Here, buddy. We're going to try to find a big horse.
And this one is Pixie. Aw, hi Pixie. And her favorite treat is watermelon. Oh, and she used to be used as a therapy horse. That's adorable. She loved visiting nursing homes and schools to make people happy and give them a lot of love. That's very nice of you, Pixie. Okay, so there are some stuff in here that is for kids, like this. It's safety around horses, but it also, like, you pick the best halter, and there's a fake horse head there that you put it on, and there's, like, different, like, guessing games and things like that. There's another one back there that had a fake horse in it, and you could like practice grooming. Oh, this is cool. You can sit on the barrel and kind of get a feel for what it's like to jump a horse. Okay, so they do have these statues / memorials at different points around the park. This one they mentioned on the tour And so I made it a point to come over and see it closer. So this is Staff Sergeant Reckless. She served in the Korean War with the Marines. She was trained to carry supplies up a mountain and then to carry wounded soldiers back down. And she was taught the route once and then did it, I forget how many times they said, but at least 50 times on her own. And she was wounded twice, and she did receive the Purple Heart. But she lived through the war and they paid money to have her relocated to America, and she died and was buried in California. I just found it on the plaque. Yeah, 51 round trips in a single day. Yeah, in late March 1953. Sorry, yeah, 51 round trips in a single day, most of them solo. So, many more than that over the term of her career. Oh, and it said that she had been taught to, like if she heard gunfire, like to lie down to hopefully avoid it. And then she also was taught to like kind of untangle herself from fences if she happened to get like tangled or caught. Yeah, so she was a very impressive horse. They also host equestrian shows throughout the year. They have an additional 24 barns where it's specifically for like the visiting competitors. There is something going on this weekend. It had the word pony in it, so I'm guessing that just means it's for smaller horses. I did see people riding them, getting ready for it, but over there you can see someone's warming up a horse. There's someone up on the hill there. I think I missed him. Oh, there he is, walking his horse around. Yeah, so there is like two parts to the Kentucky Horse Park. There is the part that is like kind of a outdoor museum for horses, kind of, you know, and you're learning about it. And then there is the more practical, like competitive side where they do have competitions and things like that on part of the grounds. I'm not going to see the competition that's today. I think it's been a week. I think it's been a multi-day thing. But I think I'm allowed to go. They did say that we're allowed to like look through the barns and everything, but there's plenty to do without going over to the competitive area. And it's really hot, and I've done a lot, and I have a drive to get home. So there's one more museum, and I do want to look through the gift shop, and then I think I'm gonna wrap things up here. So let's go find a second museum. All right, so I did find this Saddlebred Museum. It is actually what's behind me. I went in, but I didn't film. A lot of it was in one big room where the employee was sitting and everything, and I feel weird filming when it's quiet and there's like one other person there. So it was cool. You know, it was honestly at this moment all I could think of was, wow, this air conditioning feels really nice. But they had a lot of cool paintings and some like outfits that were worn by like you know, winners, like the riders and things like that. And then they had like the history of the American saddlebred. And so it was a good museum. I didn't film much of it. And honestly, it wasn't going to hold up to all the other cool things that I did today. So I'd rather show you that stuff than a museum. So, well, I guess that wraps it up here at Kentucky Horse Park. It was a great day. There was much more to do that I didn't get to. And I like places like that. I don't like going somewhere and then like feeling, well, I've done it all. You know, like there's no reason to come back. And so I really like places where I feel like I could come back and still have like a whole new experience and enjoy it all over again. And that's what this place was. So if you're ever in Lexington, Kentucky and you like horses, or even just are mildly interested, this is a good place to come. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and a subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at Lead the Life Vlog, and I'll see you next time. Bye.